Hello, folks. Well, I thought I would do an impromptu my thoughts of the week as usual. In this thoughts of the week, I thought I would incorporate a few little things. First of all, hello to all my new subscribers and viewers. I know there's been an uptake in new subscribers in the last week or so. I have done a little bit of promotion work just to get more interest in some of the videos I've put out because I think these videos deserve more people to watch them. And the people that are interested, well, I've either already watched them or probably will do so soon. It is a bit of a niche, my channel, and this, my thoughts of the week, is going to be about basically me. Now, I don't like to talk about me. I like to talk about what I'm doing with the cars and what I would like to do, and to focus on helping other people. But today, I'm going to talk about how I got to where I am, uh, almost a year from when I started the channel. Now, for those of you who are completely new to the channel, my name is Andrew. This is usually Fixing and Tinkering. And basically, this is the channel that focuses on the dirty side of classic and older cars. At the moment, I have two cars which could be classed as a modern classic, a Ford Focus Mark 1, of which has been my daily driver since 2013. It's my first car, and I don't think there's many people who can say I've still got my first car after 10 years. Well, by some hook or by crook, I've had a few bangs and scrapes in it from being a newly driver, some learning mistakes as they call them, and the car's still here today, and it's looking better than ever after a rebuild in the last few years, dare I say. My other car is a Rover 45 Mark II, a very late Mark II, facelifted example, 2004 model on a 54 plate. That has been the source of a project basically since October last year, and it's an ongoing project, and I have got many more things to do to it, but things are happening and they're going well. All the jobs seem to be going nice and smoothly, and I'm producing really good content for people to enjoy and to take on board with their own Rover 45s and any car really with a Rover K series that needs a head gasket doing. And that's really what I want to focus on. Both my cars, they are modern classics in their own right these days. Some people judge that to be not, and some people do. It entirely depends on your point of view, what you would class as a classic or modern classic. And I suspect that is a topic of conversation for another My Thoughts of the Week. But this week, I want to focus mainly, no pun intended, on basically how I've got to where I am almost a year after I started. I did not think that almost 12 months after I started my first video, um, that I would have 400 and what I'm looking at on my screen, 484 subscribers at the point of me making this video, which is just incredible. A little bit of information for those of you who are interested, particularly who've watched the channel since pretty early on. I know I have a few people who've literally watched me from the first Focus Mark 1 video like that, because nobody had really done Focus Mark 1 videos. I know there's a few channels that have dabbed with a couple of Focus Mark 1s. There's a channel with an God, I can't remember the channel's name. There's an Australian who has a Mark 1 Focus who's done a lot of really useful videos, and I subscribed to his channel ages ago. I can't remember what the channel name is, but that was the one channel that stuck out in my head more than most. Um, but mostly, there wasn't really anything concrete. You know, there are plenty of people who've done a review on a Mark 1 Focus, who've shown you how to change a bumper or change a headlight, but really honestly nothing concrete, nothing consistent, and that's really where I wanted to fill the gap. Now, I started this channel, well, arguably I have done some videos before pre-hand to March the 27th last year, which was the day where I put my first Focus Mark 1 video on my channel. I'd done some videos on my previous Rover P6. I'm interested in classics. I'm into classics. I will be going to classic car shows and showing how much I know about classics, and I do know a lot about classics. It's the modern stuff that I don't know because I'm not interested. I really am not. Anything after 2005, I really haven't got an interest in. There's a few odd cars that take my fancy, but really, honestly, I can't really say much because I'm not motivated to knowing much about them. And 2019, I started putting some random videos, and two of them still exist, and they're on the channel today. Two Rover P6 videos, just two random ones that I took. There were some videos that, unfortunately, I don't know why I did this. I made them and deleted them, and it was to do with changing the crank bearings on a Rover P6 four-cylinder engine. Now, much is known about the V8s, but not much is known about the four-pot four-cylinder versions, which was Rover's own engine, a fantastically advanced engine for its day. Well, it was an aluminium at the top, cast iron block, but pretty much an all new clean sheet design. And for an engine that came out in 1959, pretty advanced. With a heron head crust, where you've got a combustion chamber crowned into the top of the pistons. Not many engines, even today, do that. It's a thing that manufacturers either gone with or haven't stuck with. But I put a couple of videos up, and I did put a few more up, but I didn't really like them. I did a few videos in my garage of changing the bearings, but really I wasn't that satisfied with the quality, particularly on an old phone that I had back then. It wasn't the greatest phone, but it was all right for 2019. But YouTube wasn't a thing, and I had absolutely no idea that they could have been quite nice videos to keep on the channel for now. But that's just the way things are. There weren't many YouTube channels at that time in 2019. So really, honestly, it wasn't a big thing. The main channel I watched was Hubnut, and I've been subscribed to Hubnut since 2018. I really liked his back to basics, dirty, nitty gritty videos that he used to do on the 2CV, and took the IndyCar. If you watch his channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, and that's what got me interested in his channel. Just a man with basic tools, getting really down and dirty with cars that really, I mean, the 2CV is a classic in its own right and has been for many years, but the Invacar, nobody knows about them. And I didn't know a thing until I discovered his channel. And I believe that in the last couple of days, he has hit 100,000 subscribers, and he deserves that because it is literally pure entertainment. I know some people I know that have said they've unsubscribed recently because they feel that the family and orientated videos are a little bit of a distraction away from the actual true Hubnut videos. I don't know what true means. I think the channel's absolutely fine. He's got a variety of cars. The only thing that frustrates me is that like many YouTubers who have gone full time or almost full time, they buy a project car, they say they're going to do it up and work on it, and then it sort of gets left to the back after a few videos, and then it disappears, it gets forgotten about. Four more cars come in, they do the same, and then by the time he's gone back to that, it's like it's not working, it's falling apart. Well, you're not using it. And that is the compromise that you have to pay for being a YouTuber. Basically, things don't get done as quick as possible. And I have to say, I think there's been a slight compromise with how I've actually worked on my cars, because I'm worried about where the camera is and I'm worried about the noise level from the road. I'm thinking about all these things when I video on my camera, and I'm thinking in advance how I can edit it and put some really funny bits in occasionally. But generally, my channel doesn't put too much funny humorous stuff in because I'm on my own. I'm a one-man band. I do not have my partner or an assistant holding the camera who can actually move the camera with me, which would be absolutely amazing. But I don't have that. So being a one-man band, like a lot of YouTubers, particularly when they start up, it's compromised. But I try my best in terms of what I can offer. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit distracted here. So basically, that was really the first few videos that I did. 2020 was a bit of a funny year for me personally. I moved the P6 on. Obviously, we had COVID, but there was a lot of things going on in my life which meant I put cars on the back hold. The Focus, which was at a stage where it needed rebuilding, was getting done on my driveway bit by bit. And I did an awful lot of this work. And I did think back then, maybe I should start a YouTube channel. Maybe I should start videoing some of this. And I regret not doing that. But the truth is, I've started towards the end of the rebuild, and I say it's better late than never. But yeah, there was quite a few jobs I'd done on the car, and I had rebuilt the car. Unfortunately, there were so many things that were falling apart on the car come 2019. And when I got a huge shock from the garage when it failed its MOT on 2 corroded rear springs, 2 rotten rear arms, the subframe needed looking at, anti-roll bushes gone, train arm bushes were okay but starting to go. The bill was just adding up, and I spent £500 paying a garage to replace the bottom arms. They had to cut the bolts off because they were seized in, and replace the rear springs. That arguably is one of the hardest jobs to do on a Mark 1, and I actually haven't done that. I actually paid somebody to do it because it was an absolute pain. I didn't have the confidence in 2019 to do it. If that was now, 100%, I'd be getting the gas and blowtorch out and getting those bolts loosened or cut them off, and I'd be getting them arms off and dropping the whole thing. What I ended up doing later on was fitting new train arm bushes. I did a load of work on the subframe. I had to drop the subframe separately and do that off the car with the arms attached because I didn't want to mess with the bolts. So that was a bit of a faff, but it worked out. And then I ended up doing a load of more things underneath, mainly brake lines having all coppered out, fuel tank straps, the stuff that fails really, fuel filler pipe. It escalated. When you drop the rear subframe on a Mark 1 Focus, it escalates because you think, well, now I've done the hard bit, I've got access to all these things. And I suggest you go for it and change it. Yes, it's 300, 400, 500 pounds, but it'll be the best money you have ever spent in your life, because it's the difference between a Mark 1 feeling like a bag of crap and a Mark 1 feeling like a Mark 1 that came out the factory. It's as simple as that. Anyway, mainly that's what was going on. And I did have thoughts. 2021, late 21, I had this nagging thought in my head thinking, I've got so many skills now and so much experience. I should be sharing this. I really should. So I went to the NEC last year, 2022, which was about 4 days before my first video. And from that experience, I just thought, you know what, I haven't been to this show in ages. It's the Classic Restoration Show at the NEC in Birmingham, the one I'm going to go to next month. And I haven't been to that show since I had the P6 in 2019, so 3 years, obviously because of COVID as well. And, you know, I just looked at it, I thought, this is such a big world. And yes, I feel like a pebble on a beach. And I think you feel like that when you go to shows as big as this. You just feel that you are one grain of sand in a huge community. And I thought, what can I do? And you know what? I just prompted myself, let's start with a small video and let's build it up. And that is the truth about how to start a YouTube channel. Just start really small with a smartphone. If you've got a smartphone, you're already there. I didn't even have a tripod at the time. I was literally just blogging, literally. And some of my early videos were very bloggy indeed, but actually not that different from the way I present things now. I've learned some techniques. I've learned how to use computer editing software, how to use a tripod effectively, what works, what doesn't work for me. And I've come a long way. And that's really the sort of the preface to actually me starting videos. And it was a bit slow at first because I didn't know quite how it was going to go. My first video took about 2 months to get about 20 viewers. And I believe some of them viewers were actually subscribers before I put the first video up, which is strange because the only subscribers that I would have had would have been Rover P6 people. Very strange indeed. But I had about 6 subscribers before that first video. And it took me to November, a month after buying Beatrix, to get 100 subscribers. 3 months later, I have now got almost 500. And that's the rate at which you can accelerate. I am at the stage, I'm not sure how much people understand about YouTube monetization. I wasn't really caring about monetizing the channel. I just wanted to make the videos that I wanted to make with the car that I absolutely love. And what's happened is I've bypassed all of that now. My thoughts are very much turned to monetizing the channel. To monetize a YouTube channel, you need 4,000 public watch hours. It has been upped in the last few years because YouTube know that they're on the back of a content explosion. And that's what's happened in the last 2 years. There's been an absolute explosion of people making content on YouTube. So they've upped it a little bit. And the subscribers, you have to get 1,000 subscribers. That is the bit where I am a little bit lacking. But the truth is, subscribers always are behind watch hours. The watch hours have accelerated completely. The Beatrix videos have really helped that, because I'm glad that I own a Rover. I always wanted one, and I've bought the car that I want. I did not buy Beatrix in October. It came at the right time, to be honest. But I didn't buy Beatrix in October because I wanted to grow the channel. It's helped to grow the channel, but ultimately it's the car that I wanted to own. I didn't fancy a 25, although I wouldn't say no to one. And I think a 75 is a little bit too big, but then again, I wouldn't say no to one. MG versions, I wouldn't own them because I don't think they're significantly better than the Rover versions. And the insurance is a lot higher, so you got the higher cost. I wanted something a bit more niche and a little bit understated, and the 45 came perfectly, and especially as it's a Mark II, because they are extremely underappreciated. They were only made for 12 months or so. Even the Rover community, people don't like them because they were so poorly built, and I don't think anybody is going to argue about that. They were really poorly built. It was built by a workforce that pretty much knew the nail was on the coffin, and pretty much by the time my car was made, it certainly was looking like that. But it is what it is, and you have to appreciate them for what they are. And this car is getting better and better. You just have to understand the weak points and move on with it. So Beatrix came round at the right time, and that's where we are today. And in the video, the Project Beatrix videos have been fantastic. I can't imagine, I couldn't have asked for a better car. Now, I may have said this before, but about a week before I bought Beatrix, I was actually looking at a Rover 25 1.6 2000 reg. It was an X reg, a W reg. And it was not far away from me either. That was up for about £1,000, I think it was up for, something like that. And it seemed like an absolute bargain. Headlining sagging. I think it needed some new rear calipers by the look of the MOT, because they were actually stuck on. There wasn't much else wrong with it, and I don't think there was a sign of a head gasket fault. But I was really unlucky. I was practically a day away from buying it. Unfortunately, I didn't get there quick enough. And I was really gutted that I missed out on it, because I thought that would have come at the right time. In truth, I'd have preferred a 45, but that came around at the right time, but I didn't get it. And then I looked and found this 45, and it had been stood for 2 years. Basically, the fella that was trying to buy it took it off the first, I think the first owner, the lady who had it, okay? And he, like many dealers, he was trying to shift quite a few cars. He had about 6 cars in his yard. And he basically took the car off the old lady. And technically, he was the second owner and I am the third. But the truth is, I don't think really that's strictly accurate. I'd class myself as a second owner. He was just simply somebody who took it on to sell it on and flip it. And I believe that I think he had somebody come to look at the car. And I believe that person, this was around 2020, just after he put it up for grabs. Somebody bought the car But the V5 hadn't gone through, so I suspect that he didn't class as a second owner, but somebody bought it. They drove it around, and then I think all he said was the alarm. The guy complained that the alarm kept going off, draining the battery, and it stunk of damp in the car. So I can imagine why he wanted his money back, even though it was. I think he sold the car for about 850 or around about that. I think that's what he told me. But basically, the guy gave the car back, and luckily, no, the V5 hadn't gone through, so they had to contact. I don't know what they did there, but it didn't go through. So officially, he still the guy I bought it off still owned the car. And it sat there until I bought it. Nobody else had taken an interest. Nobody had given a few. It was only a few phone calls. So yeah, there was no interest in the car whatsoever. I mean, it looked bad. To be fair, when I looked at it, it looked pretty shoddy. And I was tempted. At the moment I saw it, I thought, oh Christ, it just looked so sorry for itself. And I thought, well, let's just get on my hands and knees and have a look how solid it was. And as soon as I saw how solid it was underneath, I thought, this is a project. 100% down my street. And the truth is, I bought it off him, but not much more than scrap money, because I wouldn't offer him anything more than that. I said, look, it's been here long enough. If you, at the price the price that he was asking, there was no chance. He was asking 850 for it, and I said, no chance. The car's been sat here for another year. This is a potential money pit. Nobody's going to buy it off you. Might as well just scrap it. I either buy it off you or you scrap it. I know which way it would be better. It'd be more economical for me to just take it now. And the guy just snapped my hand off. He said, deal. I think he was playing hardball, then he caved in. That's usually the way it happens. And I was prepared to walk away. Absolutely 100%. Rover 45s are not that rare. Even the Mark IIs, they are on the rare side, and I will cover that soon. But it's not so rare that I couldn't get another one. The real thing that attracted me to the car was the fact it was a CVT. They are even more unappreciated. I think if you had a timetable, if you had a hierarchy of the most unappreciated Rover from that time, it would have to be a Rover 25 or a Rover 45 CVT. They are literally the least liked Rover of the whole bunch of them. Every other spec, every other engine combination is much more desirable. Even though it is a 1.8 connoisseur, you could get the Rover 25 as a 1.8 CVT for 1 year. I think you could only get 2,000 registrations with that combination. Then they dropped the 1.8 and offered the 1.6 with the CVT. So they are very, very rare cars. But the Rover, again, connoisseur, it's attractive. And these things really did say a lot about the car. The leather seats. I mean, the three things: the gearbox, the leather seats, the connoisseur spec with the walnut dash, and the fact it wasn't rotten. It was a winner for me, but I didn't let him know that. And that's the truth when you're buying a car. Please do not let people think that you think this is a good car. I told him exactly what I thought of it. It was a pile of, yeah. And this car has just given me, literally, if you could name all the common faults of a Rover 45 Mark II, or even a Rover 25 Mark II, because they're very similar in terms of architecture, and particularly the Petron system. But if you can name all the top common faults with a Rover 45 Mark II, sagging back bumpers, which we have covered and it has come out. Door handles broken, headlining gone, head gasket blowing or blown in this case, past tense, it's blown. It hasn't got rust. That's the only thing that this 45 doesn't have that the others have, is rust in the footwell, but there are some scabby areas which we've had to attend to. Water leaks in the boot, water leaks in the car, electrical faults, Petron system suspicions, but we are finding more positive points about the Petron unit rather than not, especially the video I put out of how to test it. That showed me that there are no issues with that unit. And then we have the siren going off. That's a common fault because apparently the sirens on the Mark II versions and the 25 are very poor. They let in water and they go off. Well, mine's no exception. The headlights faded, completely faded. There was moss growing on the plastic. It was that bad. Um, Broken bumper clips, typical, really real stuff. Stuck windows. There was a couple of windows that were virtually stuck, but not broken, which is a really good thing. Um, Poor quality plastics. The SRS airbag warning light going on, which is the seat connector, which is thankfully all sorted. Numerous things. I think there was a few more things. Oh yes, the vents on the dashboard. It's a facelift dashboard. The vents, they're made of paper. But literally, you could name all these common things, and we have covered them. Every single one we have covered. And there's just a few more areas that I need to go over. But we are really getting there, and it has been brilliant content. And these videos are going to be seen not just once, they're going to be seen quite a few times, because Rover 45 owners, you will have these issues. And I hope that my channel is here to help you and give people some confidence. And I certainly have done. So it's been absolutely amazing, my journey of growing as a channel. And this is like baby steps. I have thought about where I want to go long term. Well, the next step is to monetize the channel. I want to monetize the channel this year, and it will happen. I think in 6 months' time, I will have monetized the channel, which means I get some pennies, which really helps. This sort of thing really does help kick things along. The support of people is what keeping me going. The comments, the likes. Please like my videos, because if you like my video, if you don't like it, oh well, okay, obviously don't click the like. But if you really did watch it and enjoy the video and you thought it was a good video, please click like, because honestly, it hits some algorithms. I don't know what algorithms YouTube works with. They are trying to push shorts. I've done some shorts and I've had some really bad comments from the shorts. I put a short up between how a Focus Mark 1 door sounds and a Rover 45 door sounds, and I did it with the bonnet as well, and another short, and someone put the most aggressive comment ever. I had to block the fella. He said, "Oh God, what is the point? What is the point in this comment? What is the point in this video? Sorry, yeah, you've got a shit Rover and a shit Ford, both are shit boxes, and you're fucking shit. What the hell? It's a short. Don't lose your rag over it." And you know what? I don't want to do shorts. If they're ticking algorithms, well, I don't want to be doing shorts for twats like that who have got a 2-second attention span because they can't have. It's literally, it's the TikTok thing. You can't stand more than about 5 seconds worth of a video. Anything longer than that, I've lost your interest. And you know what? I don't want to appeal to people like that. And the shorts were attracting all sorts of rubbish. So if I do a short, it's a very, very rare thing, and it means that I'm confident it will get lots of plus points. Apart from that, I am not branching out. So the algorithm that I want to hit on YouTube is not just views, obviously, but likes. So if you enjoyed the video and liked it, you thought it was a good video, please like, because then it will beam onto other people's screens, and that's how I can attract and grow the channel as such. I don't want to do shorts. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just the people it's attracting. And then I'm going to just come to a conclusive point about what my thoughts are about what I could do with the channel beyond monetization. The truth is, I don't know beyond that stage, but the one thing I'm not going to get lulled into is merch. I have a full-time job. I realistically have not got enough time. My focus is on the cars. That's the important thing. I think that's why people love my videos. My focus is on the cars. It's not about me, apart from this video. It's not about me. It's about these cars, these wonderful cars that everybody should love and enjoy. Well, not everybody, but you should enjoy a car and focus on it and give it some love. Put some money in it. You'd be absolutely amazed. With second-hand car prices recently, it's an absolute no-brainer. I think these cars are here to be enjoyed now. And that's the way my channel comes across. But I have a full-time job. I'm not on YouTube for an income. A monetization and some pennies, some money in I think super chat where you can send someone some money during a live stream. I think that's a brilliant thing. I wouldn't ever badger for people for money, but if they gave me £1, I'd be really pleased. That pound would go towards a can of WD-40. It's something stupid like that. But I really don't have an interest in branching out with merch unless I feel that there's a demand for it. I'm really not someone who wants to just go put in their YouTube logo on all sorts of mugs and t-shirts and all sorts of stuff. I mean, arguably, I've actually made some stickers, and there is a reason I've made some stickers, and you'll find out in a video in probably a few weeks' time, possibly, probably a month actually, saying that. So in terms of that, I'm not interested, and I think people get rather upset with the pushing of merchandise. I think that is the compromise when you become a YouTuber and you've got all these revenue streams that you can tap into. So you've got sponsorships where they have to introduce a sponsor and stick to a script. I just think, I hope people are going to watch this and are going to quote me and remind me if I get tempted in the future to go down this point. If anybody approaches me to do a sponsorship, I will say no. Because sponsorships, for me, I don't need the income. I've got a full-time job. This is a hobby and it's an interest, and I'm on here to spread advice. I'm not here to make an income from it. That's other YouTubers have got their own mindsets to that, so each to their own. But my mindset is this is not an income stream. So therefore, merchandise, really, no, I don't want to be pushing it unless there's a demand for it. And even then, it'd probably be a non-for-profit. I'd make things in order not to make money, but to actually spread awareness, putting a sticker on somebody else's car so people can actually see, basically, you know, a sticker on somebody's car and think, oh, I don't know that channel. So that's a good promotional factor. So stickers, window stickers, I will certainly look into things like that. But that's the only reason I would do it. In terms of anything like sponsorships, no, absolutely not. And product reviews. Now, I've recently bought a new jump starter pack, a Topdon jump starter pack. I'm going to do a review on that, just an unboxing video. It's nothing special. I can't review it because I haven't got a flat battery. Until I get a flat battery, I can't really use it as such. But it's fully recommended. And, you know, that's the sort of product where potentially you could be sponsored to review that product. You know, Topdon could give you one. So can you give it a try? Obviously, you have to be a bigger YouTuber to use that. And the problem is with me is I like to review products and not be, I like to be not restricted by the fact that a company have given this to me. I can't be overly critical. If it's a really bad product, I would just say. And that straight talking attitude really would go out the window when you've got a company who've quite kindly given you their product. Then again, they wouldn't give you their product if they thought it was rubbish, truly and honestly. But there's a compromise to that, and you are compromised. And I think many YouTubers have gone and they're caught in a bit of an angle. They need to get as much revenue as possible. But equally, it's about not annoying your subscribers by over pushing this sort of stuff. And I think YouTubers who continually push merchandise and continually push sponsorships and affiliations with other organizations, and it takes up a chunk, more of a chunk of an episode of a video than what people would like to feel comfortable with, that's when it gets annoying. And I've seen that on other YouTube channels, but on mine, that's something that I probably can learn from. Well, I do not intend to go down that route whatsoever. My channel is free from influence, put it that way, and will continue to be from forthwith. So really, that's been a lovely, rambly Thoughts of the Week. These Thoughts of the Week episodes, I have thought about this very carefully, and the first one was a bit of a ramble. I like having a ramble. This is not scripted. I have made, you know, I keep, I don't know why, I've got a bit of a stammer when I do some of these videos. It's not scripted. I haven't planned this. I'm just speaking openly and honestly, and I hope you'd appreciate me all for that. And that is really my thoughts of where I've come from and how I've got to where I am. And I'm getting 2 or 3 new subscribers a day on average, so it's really nice to see. It's just ticking up ever so slowly, and that is 2 or 3 people who want to watch my videos, enjoy my videos. So, if you, I don't know, if you know other car people that have absolutely no awareness about this channel and they enjoy Fords, they enjoy Rovers, or they enjoy just somebody learning, basically working on his car, the nitty gritty, dirty stuff that not a lot of YouTubers tend to show. I mean, there are quite a few channels actually who do show this sort of thing, but it tends to be a very niche. People tend to like watching YouTubers go to car shows and review cars. I'm not necessarily going to say that I won't review cars, but I don't think it'll be my channel model to start reviewing cars. However, I will not rule out reviewing Focus Mark 1s and Rover 45. It will be a niche factor, and I will review the cars that I know my subscribers would like me to review. In terms of a third car, well, I don't know. Financially, I might be pressed to get one, maybe right at the end of this year before Christmas, which would be a spectacularly bad time to buy anything related to a car. But, we'll see how things are. I've got 2 cars, and that's one more than most of the population, so I'll stick with that. You take care, guys. I will see you very soon in another rambling episode, or in another live stream, or God knows where. See you soon.